L'Équipe in France are reporting that Inter Miami are ready to sign up Lionel Messi and then immediately send him back on loan to Barcelona for 18 months. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make any sense. No. It doesn't make sense to Inter Miami because, you know what? I have messaged to MLS teams and people who write about MLS teams from Europe. They're not all morons in the U.S. They have televisions. They have the internet. And they know that if I'm Inter Miami and I'm going to make a huge commitment to Lionel Messi in 18 months' time isn't going to be as good as Lionel Messi today because, as Rocky Balboa said, time is undefeated. It's going to pass even for him. So this makes very little sense. You know, they sign him and then, but look, you go play for Barcelona. We'll pick up all the wages.
It didn't work for Frank Lampard, did it?
No, but it's silly. Or the other thing is the argument being that, you know, the way the MLS season runs, he could play for Barcelona and then come back and then like, what, you're going to make this guy play 12 months out of the year? And there's a Copa America coming up? This seems extremely, extremely far-fetched to me. It seems like something that originates in Barcelona, actually, with Laporta saying like, ooh, how can we get Messi back for free? Mason Mount also has a year left on his contract and is strongly linked to Manchester United. Robbo, is this a good fit? When you have Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, I mean, this a great player, but
he's a very good player. Is he as good as Bruno Fernandes? I'm not sure he is. Is he more mobile than Eriksen? Yes, he is.
You have other priorities if you're United.
Yeah, I would say so. But if you're going to play him and Bruno Fernandes in the team, that leaves Casemiro as the holding midfield player that's got a lot of work to do. I can't see that working. So if I was Erik ten Hag, that wouldn't be one of my options. Now, I don't know how seriously you can take this, Gab, but there are reports that Karim Benzema has received a massive offer from Saudi Arabia. He's a free agent. Would he go there?
I don't know if he'd go there. I mean, it's interesting. His contract, he is also, as you said, his contract's up. I think if you're Real Madrid, he's on a big wage. Would you say I'd rather give that money to a younger guy who might, or rather than try to squeeze another year out of him? I don't know that you'd be too bummed to go. I think, though, equally, if you're Benzema, I don't know that at this stage of his career he needs to be motivated by money or a huge contract. So unless he feels like a real need to be an evangelist for Saudi football, and he might do. He might, obviously, he's Muslim, maybe there's religious reasons or whatever. I don't think this makes much sense for him, you know, given where Benzema is right now.
Yeah, he's still one of the world's best players.
Erik ten Hag gave the biggest hint yet that Harry Maguire is free to go. Robbo, performances aside, he's 30 years old. He has 2 years left on his contract. He earns a reported £190,000 a week, which is close to 12 million euros a year. Is he likely to have takers?
Not with that wage, unless Manchester United are prepared to pay some of the wage or whatever, or give a fee that's a cut price. Harry Maguire needs to play football. He needs to go to a club where he's going to play every week. He's still a very good player. He's had a bad time at Manchester United. He's lost his confidence. He's never going to get a starting spot at Manchester United on a regular basis. He needs to move on to save his career, I think. Chelsea
have granted Manchester City permission to speak to Mateo Kovacic. Robbo, he has a year left on his contract. Are you surprised City like him that much that they want to talk to him?
I like him as a player. I think he's a very good player. If they're looking at Gundogan going, I think Gundogan's had an excellent recent season. Kovacic, I think, is a top quality player. And in amongst other top quality players at Man City,
even better.
He'd be even better. So I can see that happening, and I can understand why they're interested in him.
Thomas Tuchel is reportedly pursuing Declan Rice, and according to reports in Germany, is willing to build the midfield around him. Robbo, if you're Joshua Kimmich, how do you feel about this? Are you like, hey, das ist mein Position?
Absolutely, because that's what he does. He lets Goretzka run forward, and he's the holding midfield player who gets on the ball. He's not as athletic as Declan Rice. I think it's a slight worry for Kimmich. He can play at right back, but you wouldn't want him to put him there. There's better right backs than Kimmich. So, yeah, worrying for Joshua Kimmich. Milan are reportedly close to signing Kamada as a free agent from Eintracht Frankfurt. Gab, is this a good deal?
He's 26 years old. He's a high-energy player. Kind of plays in sort of that, you know, he's played mostly sort of central midfield, attacking midfield for Frankfurt on a very attacking team.
Instead of Benacer?
No, I think it would be...
Because Benacer's playing in the attacking role at the moment.
Yeah, no, but I think Benacer would play further back with Tonali. And, you know, I think it would initially be a depth signing. I wonder what this means, as with all things, for Charles de Ketelaere, who I don't think you can give up on after a year, but you have to find his best position. Chelsea won't bring back Joao Felix as he's being offered to Newcastle. Robbo, is he a fit?
He's an excellent player. We know that if he's given enough opportunity and if he can get on the ball. Is he a?
Yeah, if my hand had wheels, should be a bicycle.
Yeah, is he effective enough? Does he get involved enough? They've got players that can play wide. They've got players that can play in the hole behind. I think he's a better bet than and he'll be more reliable than someone like Saint-Maximin. And he could play off the front player, and Joe Linton can still play in his left-sided midfield position. So yeah, it would be a good fit. He's a sort of player that would improve Newcastle, I would say.
For all that money, no, I don't know. I wouldn't go near the guy. I think the guy's got serious issues for all his talent. Youri Tielemans has left Leicester City on a free transfer. Robbo, not long ago, I thought he was one of the very best midfielders in the Premier League, if not Europe. He hasn't been good since I said that, but he's available for nothing. Surely he's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not been injured. He's not turned bad all of a sudden.
Remember, Arsenal were desperate to sign him a little while ago. He's a good all-round midfielder. He can do a bit of everything. He's a good passer of the ball. He can make forward runs. He can score decent goals, as we saw in the cup final. He's good defensively. He seems to be a good character. Unfortunately, he didn't have a great season for Leicester, but he would be a player that I'm sure would get back to his previous form if he went to one of the better clubs.
I'm not being funny now, right? For me, he would be the best or second best midfielder at the following clubs straight away. Arsenal.
Yep.
And you can take Odegaard ahead of him, a slightly different position, the way he plays, right?
Yep.
United, all right, maybe you still take Casemiro ahead of him, but I'd have him ahead of Fred and McTominay. Yep. I'm assuming you would too.
Yep.
Spurs, let's not even go there. Chelsea,
What about Newcastle?
Bruno Guimaraes, really, really good. Maybe Bruno Guimaraes would be better. But even what I'm saying is like...
Better than Longstaff, who plays on the right.
Yes, better than both Longstaffs put together.
Yeah.
So I look at this and I think this is a no-brainer. He's got a ton of leverage. I know maybe because of the difficulties he's had in the last 18 months, maybe his price is going to go down a little. But I think you're getting a hell of a player and a guy who's really motivated if you go out and sign him.
ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.